welcome back to Send Better Emails.
All right. It's
All
been
right.
a while.
It has been a while. It's been too long, actually. We've slept on this.
We've done that thing that the one cardinal sin of podcasting: never skip a podcast.
Yeah, and I think we might have skipped maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, it's not very good. But anyway, we're back. I know everyone's missed us.
We've been inundated with messages, about how disappointed everyone is.
So we thought we'd better jump on and record something. This isn't actually going to be the first episode after the break either, because we've had one in the barrel that I've not released. So that's coming out this coming Thursday, and then this one's coming out the Thursday after.
Oh, so actually the spiel then should have been last week's episode.
Yeah.
The whole,
but when we recorded that, we didn't know that there was going to be a 3-week break.
True.
It's all pretty meta. It's like Avengers Endgame. It's getting a bit confusing.
Yeah. I don't know that Avengers Endgame was like that confusing, but...
Well, it was. It's like, you had Doctor Strange doing the 14 million to 1 or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was cool, actually. I should watch that again.
Yeah, I should watch I should watch them again as well. What have we been up to? We went to Ibiza, me and you.
Yeah.
For the Agency Hackers Conference.
Yeah, business trip.
Lots of business.
It was, it was good, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't think we didn't learn too much about email marketing, but I think we learned, we learned some stuff about running an agency, which when you run an email marketing agency is equally as important, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, conference good, speakers are good, networking was good, met some nice people out there. Weather was nice. Did you see the flooding that happened like literally the day after we left?
Yeah, it looked like Noah's Ark. It looked biblical.
Yeah, and can you imagine the flight that we had out there on the way out, and then if on the way back we got stuck in that flood, that would have changed the face of the trip.
Yeah, it would have
completely.
Done, yeah.
We had a bit of a flight from hell. I mean, it could definitely have been worse, but it was pretty special, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a passenger thing, not like a turbulence thing or anything like that. It was, everyone was safe, surprisingly, I think, given the rowdiness of the passengers. I guess it's what you ought to expect when you're flying to Ibiza, but I think it was particularly fruity, wasn't it, Jamie?
It was, yeah. I think there is what you would expect from a Ryanair flight out to Ibiza, but then this did kind of go over that line. I think it did take the biscuit. There was vaping going on. There was spilling drinks over other passengers.
Yeah.
There was being sick on the floor.
Yeah. I've never seen a group so hell-bent on trying to crash the plane. Like making WhatsApp calls as we were taking off, like to see whether they could disrupt the systems. Like,
it was like mixing together 3 different shows. It was like a mix of 24 Hours in Police Custody mixed with Love Island mixed with Mythbusters.
Yeah.
And they were
throw in Snakes on a Plane.
Snakes on a Plane as well. And me and James happened to occupy the 2 seats that were in amongst this crowd of lads. Anyway, it was a rocky start to the trip, but
it was, and it was funny because we got to the conference, and as we were walking in, they were sharing like traumatic flight stories, and they were all just like, the guy next to me had 1 too many beers, and we were so traumatized that we didn't even want to talk about it. We thought that's when you've had a bad flight, when you don't even have a fun story out of it.
No, you just have PTSD. So that's what we've been up to, but. We want to talk a little bit today about Black Friday because that's coming up and that's important. So we feel like we should probably give that some airtime. And I think the approach we want to take, as opposed to we'll talk about some specific tactics you can use. And so you'll come away from listening to this episode with some cool little tips. But I think what we want to do is zoom out a little bit and look at Black Friday and the strategy around what happens before Black Friday, during Black Friday, and then after as well. Because I think it's such a key period of time for e-commerce brands. And we don't want to just kind of be blinkered and look at that one weekend as a sales opportunity, but we want to look at what happens before and after as well.
Yeah, and Jamie, you're mostly going to be leading on this because you're responsible for our e-com arm of the business, and so I'm very excited to grill you a little bit rather than the other way around, which is usually how these podcasts go.
Nice. Okay.
And so I think we should just get straight into it. I suppose just it makes sense to just follow the chronology of approaching Black Friday before, during, and after. We're currently recording, by the way, for anyone listening, kind of months into the future, on the 7th of October, so quite early in the month. And Jamie, I don't know if you know this, but October is actually one of the biggest months for email acquisition for e-com businesses. So you're growing your email list more in October than nearly any other month. And so I suppose that leads in nicely to, we're currently before Black Friday. What can businesses be doing? How should they be looking ahead towards Black Friday?
Exactly. And I think this is being released next week as we're recording it, so you'll be listening at the earliest you can listen to this is the 16th of October, which means you still have like maybe 5 or 6 weeks before Black Friday. So it's loads of time to still do some before stuff. Hopefully you'll have a strategy in place, but if you don't, then that's fine. Don't panic. Let me just do a quick plug. We are doing Black Friday audits and strategy calls for e-com brands. No charge for that. We just do a little mini thing, a quick discovery call. We dive into your Klaviyo account, do a bit of an audit, and then give you some strategy points for Black Friday. Of course, there's a proposal in there for our support, but if you want that, you can reach out. But you asked me before Black Friday, what do we want to do? So I think the first thing we want to do is sit down and think about our strategy. And so first it's, what did we do last year? Did we do anything last year? If we did, then, what went well, what could have gone better? What were the figures that we achieved over that weekend? And kind of start setting some targets. So I think that's the first thing that I would do before anything. And then as we go in the run up to Black Friday, there are things that we might want to do in order to start building up excitement or to start building lead lists. And so some of the work that we do for e-com brands is helping them with, not directly because we're not ads people, but running automations behind, say, a meta ad campaign that's a lead building ad for Black Friday. So that's how you can start to generate some anticipation and excitement for that sales period. And so that's one thing that can happen before Black Friday. The other thing that we want to think about is our offer architecture, and I think it's really easy to knee jerk into discounts. And I think there is some skepticism around discounts from consumers, I think, around Black Friday, which is, oh, well, they just put the price up a couple of weeks before and then do the discount and you're not actually saving any money. And that certainly is true of some brands. I think there is still deals to be had. And despite that skepticism, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is still a huge sales period. So people either know that and still buying anyway, or they don't know that and they're buying. So we want to think about discounting for sure, but we want to be clever with it. We want to also try other types of offers. Maybe we want to run different types of promotions. Maybe we want to run competitions during that period. Maybe it's a free gift with a purchase. Maybe it's some other type of offer than just a straight discount. And I think most e-com brands will be running a discount through the year anyway, just for signing up for emails, right? So it's got to be something different. And maybe saying, okay, let's offer more discount. Yeah, that's different, but maybe it's not good enough. And so we think about that a little bit. It doesn't have to be site-wide, for example. It could be certain products. And then the other thing to consider here is also strategy for those brands that don't have discounting as part of their strategy at all. It goes against their brand values to discount. So these are all things we want to be thinking about in the run-up to Black Friday. The other thing is activating our email list. in the run up to Black Friday as well. And so we have maybe some Meta ads running for or TikTok ads that are running for generating leads in the warm up, but also we could start working our email list as well.
Nice. I love the idea of some intentionality behind discounts as well. If you've decided to do a discount, I feel like one thing that we often bang on about is having a reason to offer a discount, right? And the reason could be something completely inane. But I feel like Black Friday now has become so ubiquitous that actually it's not a good enough reason to offer a discount, that there needs to almost be something more. I had this daydream this morning about this idea where, because obviously, Jamie, you and I are going for a big golf phase at the moment, and I had this daydream of a golf brand that offers a discount based on your handicap. So your handicap is the percentage that you get off your golf clubs. If you're rubbish at golf, you get a bigger discount. If you're really good at golf, you might get 5-6% off. But that being kind of a hook to get like beginners into their brand and get them using the brand, hopefully for the rest of their lives. So having some intentionality behind your discount, not just, it's I think it's lazy to just, let's just throw 10% off everything. I think it's much better if you can think of something that is maybe in some way connected with the product you're selling or your brand. I think that resonates, that sticks through cuts through the noise of Black Friday. Because I guess that's the other thing, Jamie, as well, right? Like, because everyone's doing Black Friday now, it is progressively harder for brands to really distinguish themselves in the inbox.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're kind of moving into the during Black Friday kind of segment now. And so if we think about that, we have to look at all of the different levers that we can pull. We have to be more clever than just saying, okay, well, here's a site-wide discount. We can use countdown timers for what psychological lever is that kind of urgency. We can use limited stock or limited releases for that scarcity element. And these things can still be coupled with discounts. So it's like, okay, well, there's a discount, but it's only available for the next 12 hours. So you've got to grab it or you're going to lose it. There's limited stocks. Okay, well, yeah, we are going to do a discount here, but there's only 50 of them. And so I think there's so much more that brands can be doing when it comes to offer architecture during Black Friday. And you see it with Amazon and Prime Day, right? And they always have like the timed things. It's like, okay, well, this offer's going live at this time and there's countdown timers, etc. I don't ever think the offers are that good, if I'm honest, on Prime Day. But if you're someone who's running an e-com store, I think that there is some lesson to be learned in that. So that's something that's cool. Free gifts with purchase. Okay, but it's only the first 100 that buy it. Some of these, I think the reasons why brands might are scared away from using some of these tactics is because they're more complex to fulfill. But I think surely during a sales period that's so big in the calendar these days, if there's anything that deserves some extra resource and some investment into kind of get the more complex fulfillment strategy down, it's during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then maybe Christmas or whatever. So yeah, I think you're right. How can we just be a bit more clever with discount? Go on.
Let's talk about send frequency during this phase of Black Friday, which, by the way, feels like it's getting longer and longer every single year. It used to be one day, now it's a weekend, and it's pretty soon. I think it'll be the entirety of November. But we've done some building up. Maybe we're running some ads. It gets to the week of, let's say. How should we be treating email? Obviously, Black Friday is a multifaceted, multi-channel event, right? You're going to be on socials. You're going to still be running ads. You're going to be updating your website so that it's optimized for Black Friday. All of that good stuff. How does email fit into this? How often should we be sending emails? Should we be worried about spamming and pissing people off? Where's the line here? What's your advice? I appreciate it's not going to be one size fits all.
Yeah, I think, and also like, there's still such a big element of us not being a one single source of truth here and pretending to know absolutely everything. I think there are some things that we know, and there are the things that we like to test, and some things that we have done that we know works well. But I think what we need to think about, as we do throughout the whole year, is not thinking about what we're sending, but thinking about what the subscribers are receiving, because that's a key difference. We want to think about the context of the inbox, and this is probably one of the hardest times of the year to cut through the noise on any channel, and especially in the inbox. There's going to be an unprecedented amount each year. There's going to be an unprecedented amount of emails being sent from brands to subscribers and customers. And so there is never a more important time to find ways to cut through the noise than there is during the lead up and during Black Friday. So when it comes to send frequency, there is 100% a very good argument for increasing your send frequency by quite a lot. I think during the week before, during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then in the week afterwards, I think there's a good argument here to be sending, especially if you're using segments, to be sending at least 2 or 3 times a day, I would say, to segments. And I think if people are receiving 1 or 2 emails a day from you during the core of that period, I think that's okay. What I'm more interested in, though, is the strategy behind those. Is not just, okay, well, Jamie said on that podcast, I need to send this many emails. Instead, I'd be more interested in you asking yourself the question, okay, if I'm going to send that much, what's the strategy behind it? I'm not just going to blast out to everyone. I know that I have these segments available to me. I know I have these VIPs that might want to hear from me more. Maybe they're going to get more than that amount. Maybe I have people that are unengaged and they're going to get less than that. I know I've got people that haven't bought from me in 3 months. I know I've got people on my list that haven't bought from me since Black Friday last year. So, there are all of these things that we can do. And now is the time for you to interrogate your email list. So this is a bit of a before Black Friday thing. Interrogate your email list, get it organized, and so that it's in a place that you can attack it, which is, a bit of a weird word for that, because it's not, but so you can attack it effectively during Black Friday. So get your segments in order, give your list a clean, understand who is in your audience that you can target, and then start to create a comms plan. And then that's what unlocks effective high send frequency during that period. Not just, okay, I wake up the week before Black Friday and I'm now going to send 3 emails a day to my whole list as a bulk.
Nice. Love that. And by the way, I think attack is a great word. I do think for a lot of brands, preparing for Black Friday is not too dissimilar to preparing for a battle of some sort. So, one tip for the lead up to Black Friday then is read Art of War. Yeah, exactly.
And prepare yourself. Start doing some press ups.
Well, it's funny how often the language around marketing is warlike, like strategy and tactics. And, I feel like there are some marketers that definitely consider it like a Napoleonic exercise to prepare for Black Friday and get your troops in order, so to speak.
Yeah. Maybe there's a separate episode here that we need to talk about the over masculinization of marketing terminology.
Whoa, you're so woke.
Oh, I'm so woke.
Oh,
yeah.
God. You should put that on LinkedIn, mate.
Yeah. Am I right, girls?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and also, what about the price of menstrual products? Am I right?
Yeah, where's Black Friday offers for those?
Yeah.
Anyway, stop white knighting. You're not interested in that.
Okay, I've got a couple more questions. I want to talk about what happens after Black Friday. You mentioned before we started recording that is perhaps the most important time. I also want to very quickly touch on, Jamie, and this is more just sort of like a fun aside. These brands, and you'll always get them every single year, these brands that sort of do like an anti-Black Friday message, right? And you get one email in your inbox on Black Friday and it'll be like, this is why we're not doing a Black Friday offer. And, it'll all be about their principles and how they don't agree with Black Friday and all of that stuff. What are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about that as a way of cutting through that is maybe slightly different to the conventional advice you get around this time of the year?
Yeah, I think that there's a place for that. I think you have to be the kind of business that exudes those principles and values all year round. I think it would be weird if you weren't that type of business with those principles and all of a sudden you decided, well, I'm not going to do it, and so I'm going to send this email. I think if that is something that's intrinsically woven into the way that you operate as a business, and there's nothing wrong with making that statement. My question to you would be, if you need to make that statement, that email you send will still probably generate revenue. So you're probably, is that hypocritical to send that email during Black Friday? Or is it, if you don't believe in it, is it better just to stay quiet? I don't know. But that is a legitimate, I guess, strategy if you don't believe in Black Friday, to be anti-Black Friday. And if you think about Black Friday, it is just this weird creation that someone's just thought up of one day. And you could argue that's the same for Valentine's and Christmas, but at least those have, tradition and history behind them.
And pretty much everything, to be fair. Time, love, life itself.
Yeah. Save your philosophical musings for another episode. And so, yeah, and you might be anti-Black Friday or you might be anti-discount, and that's also fine. But I think there are things that you can do to still make the most of Black Friday, even if you're anti-discount. I know we spoke a little bit about that before, where, countdown timers, scarcity, urgency, rarity and scarcity, are they the same thing? I don't know. Use those as sales tactics. Doesn't have to be discounts. And if you're anti-Black Friday, then you're probably not listening to this episode anyway. So,
okay. I like it. So, Jamie, in a world where nothing is real, everything is a human construct, what should brands be doing once Black Friday comes to an end?
Yeah, great question. I think there's definitely an argument here for, and certainly for the brands that we're working with, we'll be helping them with this, is the week after Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and kind of extending that sales period a little bit. Brands tend to do that anyway. I think we might as well squeeze the juice from the lemon during that phase. So there's that in the immediate. There's what happens after that first week after Black Friday, and this is going into Christmas. And I don't want to talk too much about Christmas because that deserves its own episode. But then going into Q1, right? So as a brand, we would have had a whole load of, if you've done Black Friday well, you'd have a whole load of first-time buyers coming into your ecosystem. So loads of people that have only bought from you for the first time because it's Black Friday. So our question to you as email marketers is, email marketing is a loyalty, retention and advocacy channel. And so what we need to do is, those people that come in and buy for the first time during Black Friday, our priority has to be to get them to buy for a second time. Or a third time, fourth time, etc. And that is through the rest of Q4 and going into Q1 in the next year. So the best thing that I can recommend here is to segment those people that are buying for the first time during that period, and to keep that segment dynamic, and to target those people with comms that are specifically tailored to get them to buy for a second time. I guess the other thing that's difficult that trying to manage here is the people that are buying on Black Friday as gift purchases. So are not people that would normally buy from your brand, but they're only buying from your brand because they're buying for someone else. So, that's always going to get a bit more difficult to get them to buy again. But there are options, right? If we can somehow mark the purchase as a gift purchase, you have those in checkout flows, then we can segment out gift purchases and just target them less frequently. But yeah, that's my key piece of advice for what happens after Black Friday. Have an automation set up ready for those that are buying for the first time during Black Friday, and try to get them to buy for a second time, because you've got them over the line once. You've spent all that money and that resource. You spent money on ads, on acquisition. You've got them in. You've got their email address and their marketing info. Get them buying again. In any business, it's way more profitable to get purchase from an existing customer than it is from a new customer.
Lovely. It's almost like, and I guess this is a recurrent theme for the Send Better Emails podcast, that actually when you distill all of this advice down to its core, the actual sending of the emails is almost the arbitrary bit that happens in the middle of diligent audience organization before Black Friday and after Black Friday. And if you get those two things right, actually the sending of the emails, writing the emails, sending them, yes, that's labor, but it should be relatively straightforward, right? And that is how you guarantee effectiveness when it comes to Black Friday. That's how you leave a legacy after Black Friday, and it doesn't just become this week of like intense sales followed by drought. It is that diligent audience organization. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I tell every brand that I speak to, and I'm doing a proposal later today where I'll say the same thing. 80% of what makes good email marketing is database organization and strategy. You know, if we know our audience and we organize our audience well, the message almost writes itself. You know, if we know, okay, well, we have this segment for high intent browsers, so people who have browsed a bunch of times but never bought anything, the message writes itself. If we have people that have consistently buy one product, but for some reason they're not buying this other product, which is seems like a no-brainer, you know, we segment those out and the message writes itself. I think it's kind of database-led email marketing, which is so powerful, and Black Friday shouldn't be any different. It's not about waking up that day and thinking, what campaign am I going to send my list? It's having already this predetermined set of segments and data that means that the campaigns, they write themselves, the automations, they write themselves at that point. And so, yeah, I would 100% agree.
Nice. And this is why we're not going to spend this episode talking about subject lines, right? And what's the best subject line? Because ultimately, I know if some golf brand sends me, I'm mentioning golf again because it's top of mind, we're playing later today. Yeah. If some golf brand emails me with a deal on their clubs, I'm opening that email and I'm probably clicking through if the deal's good enough, regardless of what emoji they've used in the subject line or what clever capital lettered hook they've used to get me in. As long as they can communicate what they're offering, if the offer is right for me, I'm going to click on it. And that's what's essential, isn't it? If the offer is right for the person you're emailing, they will be clicking it. You don't need to sweat over your subject line nearly as much as you should be sweating over your audience segmentation.
Yeah. I think if I was going to offer one more tactic here, I think we always, a tactic that we use for brands and a lot of our clients is kind of that resending to non-openers. And I think there's probably even stronger argument to do that during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, when the email traffic is so high, to resend campaigns to non-openers. If you're confident in your segmentation strategy and your database, and you're confident, okay, well, this is the right message for these people, and it's they've not opened it, I think there is a strong argument to be resending to non-openers to make sure that the message wasn't missed.
Yeah, nice. And if you're using Klaviyo, that's just a checkbox as well. It will prompt you to enter a new subject line for this second email, but that's all the work you have to put in there. This isn't a manual process if you're using Klaviyo, which I'm assuming a lot of brands listening are.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. And on that note, Jamie, unless there's anything else you want to say that I haven't managed to tease out of you.
No, only that you're looking incredibly handsome today.
Is it the collar?
Yeah, I think it's the collar.
It's the golf polo.
I like, the collar. The collar. I think the color of your shirt really brings out like the salt and pepper in your beard and hair.
Great. You just couldn't resist mentioning the fact that I'm going grey, could you?
Well, no, it's not. You're not going grey. You just got some nice, salt and pepper. I think it complements it well.
I am going grey, which is why I have salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jamie. Sorry, I'll try not to completely ruin your compliment. I appreciate that. I mean, that's the wonders of a good webcam, I think. So shout out to the Mac.
Yeah, you don't use that expensive one that I bought you. You just use the one on your laptop still.
No, I use the one on my laptop. Yeah.
That's why I'm a bit more crisp than you right now, you see.
Yeah, true. I don't want crispness. I said the only reason you think I look good is because of a lack of crispness. Let me tell you.
Okay, fine. You're someone who looks better in HD than in 4K.
I actually grease up my webcam a bit, just to put a bit of fuzz on there.
You put blur on you, but not on the background.
Yeah,
on the visual effects.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning back in. Hope you enjoyed that episode. You know where we are if you need us. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. And remember that audit that we're offering as well. It is free.
Oh yeah, get that free audit or send it to a mate. We'll audit them.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Bye.
their store. All right.
And their store, yeah. Bye.
Bye.